I have to say that Jesus is the chief victim of identity theft in this country. When I hear the mean stuff that Christians want to do, I don't know what Jesus they're talking about.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. We're talking with Raphael Warnock, Reverend Senator. He wrote a book. It's called We're in This Together. It was illustrated by the great Tamika Grooms. And she's done some amazing other books as well. So I love how you leaned in. Joel Christian Gill is here as well.
Senator, your book, which is like a great title, and I love the idea about it. But right now we've got so many billionaires hoarding everything but the Beatitudes, not actually hoarding community. What do you hope that this type of book will help? What do you hope it does? I guess the question is, do you hope stories like this teach the next generation to lead with like kindness and generosity? Because it feels like we've just lost all of that.
Yeah, I still believe that kindness and generosity wins the day. You know, I'm a Christian preacher. And I have to say that when I listen to what some folks are doing in our country in terms of policy, and many of them doing it while, emphasizing their Christian identity, I have to say that Jesus is the chief victim of identity theft in this country. When I hear the mean stuff that Christians want to do, I don't know what Jesus they're talking about. I don't know this Jesus who's mean to immigrants. All over Scripture, I see the book telling us to be kind to the stranger, to the immigrant. I don't understand this Jesus who thinks that poor people are somehow inherently criminal and that it's a crime to be poor, rather than seeing that it's a crime for us to have so many poor people in our country. In his very first sermon, he read from Isaiah and said that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He's anointed me to preach good news to the poor. I don't understand how you attack old people and call Social Security a Ponzi scheme. I don't understand how you support these policies that would leave children without nutrition in order to give billionaires tax cuts. I don't know what Bible they're reading. And so I've taken this nice little story, but it's informed. It's informed by, again, the feeding of the 5,000. And I believe that generosity wins in the end of the day. And now, just a week or so after Easter, I believe that the message, the chief message of the resurrection story, is that no matter how deep you bury it, no matter how you try to crucify it, love wins.
Senator, the white Christian nationalists, basically Jim Crow in a Sunday suit, are running around, trying to pull us back to a history that we already survived. And with more, there was an article in The Guardian a couple of months ago about Black people leaving more secularism in the Black community. How do you create churches or create communities that have space for people who don't believe, so that we can fight these people before they legitimately pull us back to the history we survived?
So I'm a preacher, and I'm passionate about my faith. But let me just tell you something. I believe in the American democratic experience. I don't want to live in a theocracy, Muslim, Jewish, or Christian. What I'm interested in is what Dr. King did. It was a movement that started in the church, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. I wasn't nothing but a bunch of preachers. But at its height, he built a multiracial, multi-religious movement, including people who claim no faith tradition at all. People who do not, that's not how they see the world. They're not people of faith, but they're people of conscience. And so I know atheists who are people of conscience, who ask the moral question about what's right, what's wrong. And I want to create space for them also. They have a right to believe what they believe, not to believe what they don't believe. That's what it means. That's what this American experiment is all about. And I'm deeply troubled and offended, quite honestly, by this tokenism, this cynical game, this effort coming out of the White House in recent days, out of the administration, literally saying the State Department saying we want to see, are there instances of anti-Christian bias in the State Department, and we need you to report it to you. Well, I got something to report. Try reporting the utter destruction of USAID, which is an arm of goodwill and love all over the world. And by the way, it's also smart diplomacy for the United States. Every military person will tell you that for every dollar you cut in foreign aid, they're going to need $2 for bullets. And
they don't care. You're acting like you're dealing with somebody rational. They don't care about anything. So let me ask you, what do we do? What's the plan? What's the plan to get us out of this? And, I feel like civility shouldn't be on the table in terms of, like, every senator voted to confirm Marco Rubio. Everyone. That includes you, right? You're playing by a different set of rules. Like, you're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna show up and be an American," but they don't care about any of that. So how do we get out of this?
I'm not focused on what they're doing.
So what's the plan?
Martin Luther King Jr. didn't focus on what his adversary.
Okay, but we're not going to do that today, Reverend Warnock. What's the game plan?
I'm answering your question. I'm going to continue to do my work. There's a reason why Donald Trump, right now, as we speak, Karen, has the lowest rating in the polls right now of any president in the last 7 decades. You got to work real hard to be this unpopular this early. What that tells me is that nobody signed up for this mess, even the people who voted for him. And so I'm going to keep fighting for those CDC workers in Atlanta. I'm going to keep trying to pass the child tax credit, which I introduced 2 weeks ago. Republicans have passed it before. I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm a member of the Finance Committee where we deal with this very issue around tax and tariffs. And I plan to drag these members of the administration before our committee and hold them accountable. Meanwhile, we've got to turn our people out. I mean, we got to turn them out to vote. I know folks may not want to hear that right now, but there are folks who say, well, why hasn't Donald Trump been impeached? He ought to be impeached by now. Well, we don't have the majority in the House. That's where that happens, in the House of Representatives. Elections have consequences, and we've got to turn our folks out. In the meantime, I'll be using the tools that I have to stand up for our children, to stand up for our farmers, to stand up for workers. Just because we are out of power doesn't mean we're without power. We have power. And even as we fight these battles inside the House, we need folks outside the House making noise. Let me say this, and I know you a minute ago you said, "Well, we're gonna go." Listen. Andy Young tells me this incredible story about how after they passed the civil rights movement, the civil rights law, Dr. King went to the president and said, "How did you pass voting rights law?" LBJ said, "I don't have the power. I can't do it. I just passed civil rights. Don't have the power." They left the meeting. The staff was feeling all dejected and demoralized. Said, "What are we going to do?" Dr. King said, "Well, the president doesn't have any power. I guess we're going to have to get him some power." So they went to Selma and created the context for the change that we now enjoy. I crossed that bridge over into the United States Senate. So I'm going to fight, but I will say to your listeners, you can't outsource change. You got to speak in the places where you are and use the power that you also have.
That's right. All right. That's what I was looking for. Reverend Warnock, first of all, congratulations. Thank you. I hope you come every time we call because we need you. And we also need to know the things that we can do to help you get the things done that you need to get done as well.
Make some noise. Keep the faith.
That's right. Because we're in this together. We're in this together. All right. Leo's Lunchbox. Get a copy if you got a baby in your life. Let's go. Let's build a library.
If you don't.
And I thank you again for being here, Reverend Raphael Warnock.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.